All right, happy Wednesday to you. Glad you're here today. This is Jim of All Trades channel, and glad you're with me. My name's Jim, and we're going to be looking at Bitcoin and Litecoin today. What I want to do today is build a bull case for Bitcoin and Litecoin. I tend to be a little bit conservative as a trader and bearish. I want to protect my funds, and so as we reach the top of waves, I'm very mindful of. Very mindful of potential downfall. So what I want to do today is just start looking at the potential for a bull case and what this final run to the top might look like if we have not reached the top. And I think there's a strong possibility we have not reached the top. And so we are headed for a correction though, and I want you to be aware of it. So I'm going to build that case for you right now. We're going to look at Litecoin first, then we're going to look at Bitcoin first, and I want you to stay in for this. I want to show you how we build this wave and build this scenario. Okay, I'm not a financial advisor. Just remember, I am a Elliott Wade trader, and I'm sharing with you how I think about the market. All right, let's get into it. So what we have here, we had this. I think this is a four wave, and we're putting in the five wave right now. Okay, this fifth wave is taking a while. We're in a corrective pattern right here. So what we want to do is put the extension on the one wave to the two wave here, and see what we have. We have a wave that has come. Get it right on the dot here. Just shy of the 1618. Okay, that's concerning to me. So while I'm here building the bull case, I want you to be mindful that there is still a bear case to be made. Excuse me. Okay. So just want you to be mindful of that. I want you to notice this. We want to see this upward facing wedge here. That's being created. This is the part of the bull case, but just I'm always tentative and always aware of potential downfalls there. All right, so we are looking at for the 1618. We're looking at a potential top here of 96.69. That's to the 1618. Let me make sure. Let me just zoom in here just a little bit more, just to make sure I've hit everything perfectly, because I think there we go. I was like, that's a little off because I had about 98 before. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So we have not reached the top here. We're still at the 1276, and we're pushing higher past the 1276. It makes me think we're heading up to the 1618, which is a three wave. So we haven't finished the three wave. That means we need to be able to have a count that the three wave works on. So this is my count for the three wave here. We'll just click on that guy. There we go. We got one. We got two. This would be the third wave. We came down for four, and now we're going up for five, and we're finishing out. We're going to finish out around the $98 mark. That's what we're looking for. So what we want to now do, excuse me, I'm very sorry. What we want to now do is build this third wave, the larger wave structure here, so that we can see it. So we've got a one wave followed by a two. The three wave is going to come up here. The four wave is going to come down here somewhere, and the five wave is going to come up there. So let's see if we can build that again. I've done this with you before, but I'd like to just do it again with you. So if we expect our three wave to come up here, we need to put our retracement tool on to measure the third wave. We come up here to that wave. We here I have my four coming down to the 382 extension. It could be the 50%, any one of these marks. So we're going to put it right between the two and just call that good. Now what we're going to do is extend the fifth wave one more time just to get our target here. So we've got the bottom to the top of three to the bottom of four, and we have 618. Our target right now is 106. We have structure up here at the $111 mark. That's where I'm anticipating really the move. This is an imperfect science. We understand that. So I'm anticipating anywhere between 106 and 110 to be our top of that fifth wave if we get it. Okay. Now, the way that's going to play out is we have an ending diagonal, most likely being created right here. Okay. Most likely. If I could click on things, and there we go. So we have an end. an ending diagonal. That's going to make its way up here to the $98 mark. If it continues on like this and just this pattern like this, that's looking like the 17th is going to get there. I don't know that it's going to get there at all. We'll see. But anyway, we might have then a push down. I'm looking for a push down to the $88 mark. That's a good buy zone here for this fifth wave if you want to trade it. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Now, how does this play? How does this wave play into the market maker strategy? Why is this taking so long to just oscillate in here? Well, again, what I believe here, we're at the final stages of the push up to the high. I think our push up is going to end up at 111. The market makers are going to systematically sell off. Okay, and they've already started doing that. They've already started taking their profits. Okay, uh, uh, they they began their sell-off right here, systematically just selling off, selling off, selling off. Now they're pushing a little higher to get the price back up again because they haven't finished selling off, and they're going to continue selling off in this corrective wave. And then what they're going to finally do is break this high. They're going to break the high, and then they're going to create FOMO here. They're going to create a fear of missing out in traders. They're going to create an excitement, and then everybody's going to believe we're going to be going up. And that's what the fifth wave of any wave is designed to do, to get you excited about a further up move. It gets everybody buying in, and then what happens is you have a steep correction that follows the fifth wave. Okay, and so that's the way waves play out, and that's the way the market makers play it. And so that's why this fifth wave isn't all that higher than the third wave. It's just designed just to break the high, get people excited so they can start selling in to the buys. Okay, so that's kind of what's playing out. So I'm looking for this thing to finish up here about $98, and then we're looking for excuse me, and then a correction down to about $88. That's where I'll look for another trade if I find one. Okay, so that's Litecoin. Let's look at Bitcoin now and see if we can make a case for that. Now we're looking at this fifth wave right here, and I've zoomed in here, and I said yesterday that this looks like it's finished. But as I look at this, we got a triangle being formed, and generally triangles are formed in the fourth wave. So there's a potential that this is just making a triangle, oscillating here, collecting orders while we push up finally to the $85 mark. Now, the $8,500 mark. If that's the case, and it could be the case, then we may have higher highs after that. I don't know. We might even push up here to the $9,600 mark for that final wave. I'm not sure what they're going to do. It just depends on what high is made after this. This could just oscillate in here and break down because this looks finished. And so if this oscillates in here and breaks down, that would correspond with Litecoin just kind of oscillating up to the top of its wave as well, and then breaking down for a corrective wave. So I'm not certain of what's happening here. It really all of this looks just very five wave-ish here. It looks finished. So I want you to be aware of just even as I try to build this bull case, I'm just not super convinced of it. I tend to be very conservative in my thinking. So this might be 1, 2. That was 3. This is 4, and we're finishing 5 right there. That's always a possibility. We are going to get a correction regardless. So here our plan is we just watch this correction and see what it looks like. Okay, see what it looks like it's making. But we want to stay in the bull mindset if we can, just for today. Understanding that all of my previous videos have a bear bias to it, looking for correction anytime now. It's imminent. So we have our sub count. This is a 1, 2. Now, what I'm saying now, this is potentially this wave to this wave is potentially just the 3 wave. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves of the 3, which means, excuse me, that this fifth wave needs to be projected higher. Okay, so how do we project the fifth wave? Well, number one, first of all, we need to know where the fourth wave is going to land. So let's project the fourth wave first. We're going to put our retracement here from 1 to the top of 3. That could be it right there. We're looking for a dive down to the $7,100 mark potentially. That's if it comes down to the 382. So we want to look for a dive down to here potentially. That would be the fourth wave. Okay, so now that we have our fourth wave target, we can project the fifth wave by a wave extension. Let me get the RSI off the screen. There we go. So we'll project here to the very top of the wave to there. Now our 618 comes up here to $9,200. Our 50% comes up here to 88. So if this is a four wave and it comes down and the wave comes down here, we have a fifth wave. We have a potential to come back up here to 92 or something like that. So again, we're just considering a bear scenario. This would be the fifth wave. So we're looking for a correction. If that's the case, I'm looking for a correction regardless. We may have a slight push up to 85 here. That's a potential. If you want to trade it, go ahead. I did a little trading yesterday. I did a trade yesterday and made pretty decent money. But man, the way this wave's oscillating in here, and I'll show that to you in a minute. It's just kind of a scary environment. I don't like the way it looks. Let me show you what I'm seeing there, and why I'm just kind of sitting on the sidelines unless something's jumping out at me for a scalp trade. Nothing really long term. Well, what we have here is you can see the triangular shape that I've created here. It doesn't mean it's a triangle. It just means that it's a waves tend to make triangular shapes anyway. So be careful that you don't confuse triangles with just the triangular shape. But everything is looking three wave-ish here. If I just take my brush tool, you can kind of see, there's three waves right there. Then there's three waves right there. Okay. Oh, let me try that one again. It's not the greatest either. Anyway, you get the idea. Right there. There we go. There's three waves right there. Now what we're looking for, let's just zoom in here to the 15-minute. What we're looking for is, kind of zoom in. Not that. We're looking for three waves and probably coming down to this trend line right here. So something like this. This is a pretty normal corrective shape here. There you go. So that's probably what we're looking for. We're getting a little bit of a pump right here, but that's probably just the top of this corrective wave. And then now if it comes up here and breaks that high, we're talking to a different story. But we're getting a little bit of a pump here, probably just to come straight down to this here. Okay, so that's the way we're looking. So this is looking very three wave-ish. So we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C, yeah, D, E. I mean, shoot, this thing could be protracted. They do that. This show you what they can do. They can do another three waves up like so, and then another three waves down like that. And there could be a breakout, to the upside. They could decide they're ready to go to the downside. The market makers can do whatever they want. They don't follow Elliott wave rules. Elliott wave just sees their patterns. So we understand that. So we've got to be watching out for these different scenarios, okay? But if it's a bull case and if this is a triangle being formed, it could be, but it doesn't have to be. It's going to look something like this, and with a breakout later on. Again, that puts the breakout somewhere on the 17th, which, that's, yeah, who knows? Who knows? I don't project days. I just look at shape and react to the market. Now, remember, as I analyze what's going on in the market and what shapes could be made, and from an Elliott wave perspective, you got to realize that, I'm often, not perfect in my analysis because we don't, I'm not predicting the future. I'm guessing potential likelihoods, and so you've got to be fluid with the market. Understand that this market is fluid. It does what it wants to. It does what the market makers tell it to do, and so we're just trying to figure out what they're doing so we can find good high probability locations to enter trades. Okay. What I will probably do if price comes down to this line, and if I get a bounce here, I will probably enter a long here. And ride it up to this line right here. And if If it looks like it's going to break through, I'll hold that trade. If it looks like it's bouncing, I will cut the trade. That's a good high probability play. If price comes down to here and starts bouncing, you see the wicks right here. If it bounce off of there, that's a good entry for a couple of $100 rise. And then we look for an exit here if it looks like it's bouncing back. Or you can see how we came up here to this line right here and we bounced off it. And so these are the things we want to be looking for. All right. Now, that's kind of what we're looking for. The projection here is if the fifth wave on Bitcoin, as it stands with the way the shape of this wave is now, that fifth wave could come all the way up to $9,200 so far. So anywhere from 88 to 92. That's I guess that's if price comes down here to $7,200. So we'll be watching this closely. There's the analysis for today. If that seems very indecisive, that's because the market is really hard to read right now. It's a very risky environment to be trading. You need to be aware of that. Okay, so as you just enter this market, be aware of the risks that are involved. It's a very volatile market, and those market makers are very good at taking your money. So make sure you have good high probability locations if you're trading for entry. Make sure you always enter on a black candle or a red candle if you want to buy. You want to see price diving really hard, because usually after those dives you get a bounce. You see this dive right here? See that dive right there? This is where we enter down here. We don't enter as price comes up above it. We don't enter there. We enter down here. And if price continues going down, you can stop it. But that's a very low risk trade. Okay. So when you see price diving, you enter at the bottom of waves, at the bottom, not the top. Most traders are entering in at the top because they don't know what's happening until after. What you have to do is anticipate those bounces. Okay. You have to find those levels where the bounces might occur. All right. You guys have a fantastic day. We'll be looking at if there's something to share with you later on. If there's new developments, I will put an update video out. Just hit the notification bell so you get that, and I'll just put an update video so you're aware of what the market's doing. All right. You won't find anybody more keen on what the market's doing who watches it all day long. I watch this thing and I trade this thing all day, and so I'm very interested in you guys succeeding. Hit that notification bell, hit the subscribe tool, and the subscribe button, and we'll update you the videos. Well, you guys have a good day.